the National Health Service actually does allow me to buy my own Aricet, because I'm too young to be allowed to have it for nothing. And I'm okay with that in a want-to-kick politicians in the teeth kind of way, because how can I put this? They take about 50% of all I earn, and what I earn is what I earn from writing, and I want to write another book. I never get a lot of money, most of which the government will have, and I just think they could spend a bit of it on my pills, you know what I mean? But on the whole, you try to be your own doctor. The internet twangs night and day. I walk a hell of a lot. I'm leaving grooves over the chalk hills of South Wiltshire. I take more supplements than the Sunday paper. I take more food additives and mysterious omega-13s, B vitamins, Z vitamins. Jesus Christ, my urine is the same colour as Mr. Spock. Part of me lives in a world of New Age remedies. We get together on the internet and we compare regimes. Some of what I do is based on science, and some of it is a bit like voodoo, because let's face it, science isn't really science. Personally, I'd gnaw the arse out of a dead mole if there was a little bit of science that said that it might do me some good. Fortunately, in order what has stopped me doing this is the Greek chorus. When I went online and announced that I got Alzheimer's, I think we had 600,000 emails in the first few hours, and the website fell over, and Rob had to get on the phone and order extra bandwidth. I didn't know you could order it on the phone, you know. The guy turns up on a little scooter, you know, and if he doesn't get there in half an hour, you get your bandwidth for nothing. And as a joke, I said, if, you know, everyone says I'd like to help, you know, you could obviously give money, not to me, but that would help, but, as a joke, I said, well, if you're like a high-end brain specialist, I'd quite like to hear from you. And they started to turn up, because despite the enormous drawback of having read my books when young, various people in various parts of the world had risen to quite high positions in various areas of the medical science. I call them the Greek chorus. I think only two of them know who one of the others is. And they're an advisory panel. It was very interesting when I said to them, an informal advisory panel, because as we know, your GP is never going to be as frank with you as a friend of yours who's a doctor who's talking to you when he's had a couple of pints. He'll tell you the real stuff. I said to them, metal fillings in the teeth. All that mercury, not a good idea. Lots of people seem to be saying this. They went, no science. But if you've got the money, it might be worth a try. So I went along to my dentist, who's a pretty new age guy. He said, yep, we know how to deal with this. We know about the air, blowing air over you and the whole thing. And yeah, we can do this. I'm about 2/3 of the way through this now. Had the lumps of amalgam out, and I saw them piling up, and I said, Charles, I'd like to have these when I leave, because I'm spending £3,000 on this, so I can have them made into the most expensive pair of cufflinks that I've ever owned. And he said, I can't, they're toxic waste. I said, you've just taken them out of my mouth. Yes. If I came in and I asked you to put them in, you could put them in. Yes. I tell you what then, just let me put them in my mouth and walk out with them. Because I came in with... Anyway, I mean, he knew as much as well as I did the ridiculousness of this situation. So somehow I'm coming to think that I haven't entirely wasted 3K on that. Am I feeling better for it? I don't know. I'm certainly not feeling worse. And I have a much nicer smile. I have to add that among my advisors is a Wiccan, because, you know, it pays to get help anywhere you can. She adopts a holistic approach, which I suspect means I should eat the whole mole. And that's where we are. Along with many others, I'm scrabbling to stay ahead long enough to be there when there is a cure, or at least some kind of regime that we can all sign up to. There are about as many of us as cancer sufferers, and it looks as if the number of us, we're going to have company. It looks as if the number will double in the next generation. And behind every one of us, there's mostly there's a spouse being supportive and suffering alongside of us. I speak as one who's only just started. Throw my trousers casually onto the, I was going to say the floor, but let's pretend otherwise. Throw myself casually onto the dresser by the bed. And if I've got something inside out, it's a little bit of a puzzle getting it right again. Small things are beginning to cause me problems. I've lost my driving license. In fact, I voluntarily surrendered it. Didn't have any accidents, just didn't feel comfortable. Not seeing things until I really looked. Car keys, ha ha ha, we've got a little device now. I just press the button and it beeps, and I can work out where the car keys are. If only I can remember where I put the device. The curious thing is that the writing goes on. That hasn't been touched. The typing, regrettably, has. So the writing goes on, but very slowly. As far as I understand it, only 3% of the money that goes on, that is spent on looking for cures for cancer is being spent on cures for Alzheimer's. I think this is dreadful. I know 3 people who have successfully survived on operations for a brain tumour. I don't know anyone who's survived Alzheimer's, although I am in correspondence with people who have given it a run for its money, which I actually take as meaning get to what these days would be called an acceptable old age. Frankly, I'd like the chance to die like my father did, at 86, of cancer. Pancreatic cancer. If they'd actually got a titanium pancreas, he would be with us today. But nothing much really happened to him. They put a stent through the pancreas. I don't know how the whole thing worked. Until the last fortnight, he was measuring up the kitchen for a new fridge, went into hospital on the Monday. We don't have euthanasia in this country, as we know. We treat the pain. And we go on treating the pain until there is no more pain, and regrettably people die. And that's how it works. And I cannot see how it could possibly work any other way. I'm not 60 yet. 86 seems like a damn good goal to me, especially since my grandfather lived to 94. And there are thousands like me, and they don't get heard, because this seems to be in some kind of way a furtive kind of disease, one perhaps we should be ashamed of. We need to shout something out. So I'm going to give you guys $1 million, and I'd like you to spend it wisely. And if you happen to see some bloke hanging around the back of the laboratory going through the, anything that's got green and bubbly, because I know what medicine should look like, just don't turn him away, okay? I'm kind of relying on you. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen.